So I wanted to show you just quickly a couple of things from the last Red feature film that we worked on. There's some good-looking shots, and for the most part, the film looks pretty good. But there's some stuff that's little gotchas that are worth knowing before you go into production or post-production that Red is known for. One thing I showed to the previous group was a rolling shutter artifact on the Red. If I play this short scene here, you can see the flashing police light, how it's causing these horizontal streaks on the sheriff's face. So that's a rolling shutter. What happens is now these police lights they used to be rotating lights in the past. Now these police lights are LED lights, so they just flash on and off, and they're not synchronized with the shutter on the camera, and it will be very difficult to synchronize them anyway. So they'll produce these streaks, and anything that's any light that's turning on and off really quickly, explosions, things like that, will have a rolling shutter artifact. Even dolly movement. If you have a lateral dolly move, sometimes you'll see this almost like a tearing in the picture. And Red is known for that, so the best is to figure out a way how to avoid this. In this practical situation, how would they synchronize these lights with the camera? It would be tough. First of all, they couldn't use the actual real lights. I think they just used the lights from the top of the police car. They would have to simulate that with some kind of a light that's gen-locked to the same sync that's gen-locking the camera, and do it that way.
What if you just shot it at a higher speed?
Still not synchronous.
You're talking about shutter speed or frame rate?
Frame rate.
Frame rate. Well, they can't, because for the scene, then they would end up being a slow down scene, slow motion, so it wouldn't have worked.
You could still just then speed that up, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Interesting. Let me think for a second. So it is true that the shutter runs at a different speed when the frame rate is off. I believe it's quicker. Does anyone know? I think the shutter is faster when the frame rate is faster.
Well, it depends how you set it, but I mean, you can set the exposure instead of 148. You can set it down to 1/30th or something even lower.
Right.
And so that you capture more light per flash, or it wouldn't clip kind of when the shutter's partway closed, perhaps.
So yeah, maybe there's a way to avoid that.
It would probably take a lot of on-location twiddling to like, all right, stand there for 15 minutes as we sit here and try to find the right setting.
Because it's something you can't see it through the viewfinder either.
Yeah.
Really.
So
No, you can. You see this exact same thing.
You can see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you would see this on a monitor on set. They would see this exact same thing.
Sounds like there's an industry for a gen-lockable fake police light box.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a golden idea.
Why not just get the old school spinning light?
Yeah, or just do that.
Wow.
Here's another.
So is there a fix for that shot?
Painting. You could paint the stuff, but it would be tough to do.
Like speed again? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's massive.
Yeah, but
Having that vertical thing.
when I'm watching that shot, I'm looking at him. I'm not looking over at the
Without that, it would be
Right, but it's also
attention's on him.
that's true, but it's even on his face. It's maybe a little less
Yeah, right. There's one part right on his forehead. You can just
right there.
Yeah, right there.
is there.
I mean,
So
you could pay some poor bastard to sit there and create a feather roto.
yeah.
Same lightning pass.
The good thing is it's only one frame, so you could fix it. You can minimize it.
Is that because it's progressive scan? It's just like getting.
Well, the thing is that the scan the scan is progressive in the sense there's no interlaced fields like in standard F television, but the scanning of the sensor still takes place, and because all the values are not read at the same time. That's why we're seeing this. It's at the moment this light went off, your scanning of the display was like 1/8 down the way. That's why you're seeing it.
Can you talk just for a couple of seconds about what you would do with Avid DS if the budget were there to take care of each of these frames?
Well, without DS, I mean, you can load it into After Effects, even Photoshop. You know, because these are, as I said, these are single frames only,
Right.
and just paint that to kind of try to blend it, minimize it.
You mean paint that upper eighth?
Yeah, the upper
to-
eighth.
to
But
make-
see, the challenge is see how the light is wrapping around his temple. You have to do the same. You can't just go flat like a piece of cyan color strip up on top. It wouldn't
no,
work.
it's gradiated.
That'd be
Right.
some interesting Photoshop work.
Yeah, so you would have to get a someone who's a good artist to.
If you were sitting in the chair, you would say don't even try to do it in DS. Put out single frames and work them in Photoshop.
No, you could do it in DS. DS has a good paint tool, so you could do it right in the DS.
Is that what you would do?
Yes. Yeah.
But for final film out, it stayed this way.
It stayed this way. They didn't, there was no budget for it, and they didn't care. So, and
I would think that most of us would see that, but most audiences probably wouldn't.
Yeah, most audience would. My wife
Wouldn't pick up on
right.
it.
Here's another another common problem is underexposure, and this is the final color. This is what. The dark one was how the cinematographer suggested this shot should be processed. So it looks like he was exposed for that masonry on the corner, but you can't see the action. The characters are completely black. So we ended up boosting that. And another example of that. Sometimes this underexposure is intentional and makes sense for the story. Like for example, this guy's lurking in the shadows. They really wanted something like this, which is also a blow up, and you can see more of his face. In the context of the story, that probably would have worked too, but they still wanted to boost it some.
Wow, that's a huge blow.
Yeah, it's a big blow up, and unfortunately these blow ups also bring out the noise.
Now, for that blow up, did you go back and take the full instead of working with, like I know a lot of people like to take half?
Half res? No, it was full. Like most of the film, any time in the film where I had issues with sensor noise,
And you
and
rolled
back, and of course blow-ups were all full resolution because you don't want to. Speaking of blow-ups, is here's how much you can blow up. This is a 4K size frame. The outer box is a 2K size, and the inner one, the green one, is high def. So for high def, we could even blow up that much more without losing any quality. Here again, that's a 2K size. So we're still pixel for pixel, and still have a little more room to go forward. And there's really no interpolation, no loss of quality if you shoot in 4K. Someone was asking earlier, well, what's the difference between this and a dolly move? It's the same as doing blow-ups with film, and this is a zoom. It's same as lens zoom. So there's no perspective change. It just crops the picture differently and blows it up. Very easy to spot whether something was a dolly or a zoom.